Ah, childhood. You may reminisce about the happy moments, like going to Disneyland or getting your first gaming console. But there are things you would like to forget, whether it was spiders or a scary scene in a movie. There have been things that scared a lot of kids, including me. This iceberg was made by Dolph Boy on icebergcharts.com, a website where you can make icebergs with ease. I'll link the iceberg in the description. Before I get started, I would like to say yes, I know that Raymundo made a childhood trauma iceberg, but this is a different iceberg and I'll skip some entries that he covered. Also, I will share my experiences with some of these topics if I was a victim to them. And without further ado, let's get going. Starting off with Tier 1, the spooky skies. We have basements. Chances are you were scared of going into your basement, fearing that a monster or something else may be lurking down there. Next is Conker's Bad Fur Day. This game was created by Rareware, who you may know for creating Banjo and Kazooie. They created the game for more adult audiences, but this did not stop kids from playing it. The game contains, among other things, heavy drinking, blood, and violence. The final boss is even an alien reference. Creepypastas are self-explanatory. Kids might have stumbled upon some creepypastas such as Red Mist or Slender Man and got nightmares. I know I have stumbled upon some, but I never listened to it because the thumbnails scared me. Doom monsters are another self-explanatory one. The monsters from Doom are designed to be scary, like the Cackle Demon, for example. Death is once again self-explanatory. The thought that everything will die one day and you will have no way to stop it can be frightening. Disturbing music videos are once again self-explanatory. There are music videos with some freaky visuals. Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared is the pinnacle of Gen Z childhood trauma. If you are living under a rock, Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared is an online series about a seemingly innocent puppet show, but then descends into madness while covering disturbing or deep things like Elsagate is a series of videos to attract kids by featuring kid-friendly characters such as Spider-Man or Elsa. But the contents of the videos contain not so child-friendly things. Five Nights at Freddy's is another thing people will think of when thinking of childhood trauma. The series should not be played by kids, even though a shitload of them do. The game features jump scares, corpses, and the godforsaken music box. Ghostbusters is referring to the famous 1984 supernatural comedy movie. The movie's ghosts can be frightening like Slimer or Gozer, as well as the demon dog jump scares may have scared some kids. Halloween costumes is once again another self-explanatory one. During Halloween, people wear realistic costumes of zombies, clowns, vampires, or any scary thing you can think of, which understandably made some kids scared. The Jolly Chimp is a toy chimpanzee holding two cymbals. The toy operates by making the chimp clap with the cymbals. The face is notorious and has appeared in many horror movies because of it. The K-Feet commercials are an famous ad campaign showing a serene setting such as cars driving, and then out of nowhere, a zombie or some sort of monster jumps out and screams. This obviously scared a bunch of kids, thus making it an entry for the iceberg. Luigi's Mansion is a spin-off franchise where Luigi has to save Mario from King Boo using a vacuum cleaner to suck up ghosts. It is on the iceberg because the ghosts can be considered scary and the beta game over screen in the first game. The Scary Maze game is an old online game where the player moves the cursor through a maze, but if the player touches a wall, the girl from The Exorcist jump scares you. There are memes and videos online of people punching through their computer screen because of the jump scare. School is self-explanatory. Schools can be a stressful environment because of tests, bullies, or detention. Spiders are animals in the order Arachnidae. They are mainly feared because of human instinct, plus the venomous spiders can kill people in a single bite. SpongeBob close-ups are scenes in SpongeBob where there are often gross, detailed shots of a character or a thing. There's not much else to say on that. The THX logo is an infamous logo. It is often called one of the scariest logos, which is definitely not true, because of its loud noise. There is one variant which scared me. It showed a glass ball with a storm inside it. The ball breaks, then forms the THX logo. Teletubbies was a British kids show about the titular Teletubbies. The characters' designs are strange and bizarre, plus the surreal nature of the show made some kids uneasy. Not to mention the countless fan works of creepier Teletubbies. Thanos is one of the main antagonists of Marvel Comics and the MCU. MCU Thanos can be scary, with brutal moments like snapping Loki's neck or killing half of Gamora's home planet, not to mention the snap. But this entry is referring to the comics version of Thanos, where he can be extremely bloody and gruesome. The Flying Dutchman is a SpongeBob character known for disturbing scenes. He mostly appears in Halloween episodes. He is shown to be gruff, malicious, or outright sadistic, like stealing fish's souls for fun. Ultimatum is a dark Marvel 16-part storyline often criticized for its extreme violence and gore. The storyline deals with Magneto's attempts to destroy the world following the apparent deaths of his children, Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. I would summarize it here, but the storyline is too long and complicated, so I link a article in the description which will summarize it better. To cap off Tier 1 is 2-sentence horror stories. They are horror stories which are only said in 2 sentences. So I will showcase 2 of them here. My daughter won't stop crying and screaming in the middle of the night. I visit her grave and ask her to stop, but it doesn't help. I woke up to hear knocking on glass. At first I thought it was the windows, until I heard it come from the mirror again. That does it for Tier 1, onto Tier 2. To start this tier off, we have adult claymation videos. They are referring to those claymation videos intended for older audiences. A good example is Lee Hardcastle's work, which shows familiar characters like The Simpsons in gory situations, often parodying movies. Agamemnon Counterpart is a bizarre YouTube video which shows a mysterious tape found in a certain blue planet. But for some reason they show this completely different tape which shows this alien-like kids show with screaming and flashing lights. If I saw this as a kid, I would freak the fuck out. Apparently this is an art project for God knows what. Aspen trees are trees with bark patterns looking like eyes. I believe it's on the Iceberg because if you stumble into an aspen forest, it may look like the forest is watching you. Cemeteries are self-explanatory. It is the resting place of the dead and is often the spawning point of zombies in movies and games. Chlorophobia is a fear of clowns, often triggered by either Pennywise from It, those 2016 clown sightings, or even Ronald McDonald. Victims of this will try to stay away from any clown material because of this fear. I personally have chlorophobia and it's not fun, so let's just move on. The DNA Productions logo is the logo that appears after Jimmy Neutron. The logo contains a chimp with 3 eyes and I'm tall. Some kids were freaked out by this, understandably. Han Solo and Carbonite is a scene in The Empire Strikes Back where Darth Vader tests out the freezing chambers with Han Solo. As Han Solo sacrificed himself, he is lowered down into the chamber, being quickly frozen with loud sounds that could scare kids, along with the imagery of Han and Carbonite. Herobrine is one of the most famous gaming urban legends. He looks like Steve, but his eyes are entirely white. He is said to create odd structures like desert pyramids in the wrong biome or 2x2 tunnels. Some people have portrayed him as godlike in-game, and there have been many fake videos and mods about this urban legend. Hospitals are again self-explanatory. Hospitals can be scary places, like seeing loved ones suffering. Needles and surgeries can also be triggering. I Feel Fantastic is a surreal video of a robot singing the phrase, "I feel fantastic." It shows clips of a backyard as well. There are theories that the creator of the video is a murderer and dressed up the robot with the clothes of their victims. And the shots of the backyard is where they hid the bodies, but this is confirmed untrue. It is a novel by Stephen King and has been adapted into multiple movies. It features a clown called Pennywise, who feeds on children. The movie has creepy and scary imagery, so it makes sense that it's on the Iceberg. Judge Doom is the major antagonist of Who Framed Roger Rabbit. His reveal is, well, yeah. After he is squished by a steamroller, it is revealed he has a tune and shows the protagonist that he killed his brother. After a short fight, he is killed by dip, which is a substance that can kill tunes, and then he melts like the Wicked Witch of the West. Jurassic Park death scenes are self-explanatory. In the franchise, there are some gruesome death scenes. One good example is the lawyer in the first movie who gets eaten straight off the toilet. Vor is a fetish of being devoured or devouring someone whole. There are many disturbing art and animations that kids may have seen, either becoming traumatized or getting the fetish themselves. Order 66 is a top secret order given to clones that identifies all Jedi as traitors. The clones then turn on the Jedi, killing them one by one. Later, Anakin and the 501st attack the Jedi Temple and kills some more Jedi, including younglings.
Master Skywalker, there are too many of them. What are we going to do?
This event has also been featured in TV shows like The Clone Wars and The Bad Batch, as well as games like Fallen Order. This scene is often considered to be the saddest scene in all of Star Wars. Pam Tree is a YouTube channel which contains very surreal videos, often with familiar characters like SpongeBob. These animations are often low poly and have creepy voices, which may have scared some kids. Salad Fingers is David Firth's most famous work. It features the titular character named Salad Fingers with abnormally large fingers. In this series, Salad Fingers gets into disturbing misadventures. Scorpions are arachnids in the order Scorpiones. Again here because of natural human instincts. They have these tails which can contain some venomous toxins which can kill people, so obviously stay away. The Sodar Ironworks is a location in Thomas the Tank Engine, where in some episodes the trains feel uncomfortable, feeling that there is a ghost train, plus the blood red lights may make this seem scary to some younger viewers. Fun is Infinite is a weird-ass Easter egg you find in the game Sonic CD. When you go to the sound test and put in 42, 12, and 25 into the test, it greets you with these weird Sonics with human-like faces, and Japanese text which translates to Fun is infinite. Sega Enterprises. Spirit Halloween animatronics are animatronics of scary figures, like clowns and zombies. These often are realistic and can jump scare people, so it makes sense why it's on the Iceberg. Sports mascots are self-explanatory. There are sports mascots which can be creepy to some kids, especially Gritty from the Philadelphia Flyers. On the topic of mascots, we have the Burger King. His head has weird proportions and has this creepy, continuous grin, so I understand why it's on the list. The icon of Sin is the final boss of Doom 2. Not only that he looks creepy, he says, which refers that the player must kill John Romero's head. The Joy Virus is an episode of Amazing World of Gumball, where the main characters has this virus which makes them joyful, and it spreads when the infected hugs someone else. The only cure is depressing music. The Lich is the main antagonist of Adventure Time. He is an ancient undead entity who constantly attempts to bring extinction to wildlife in the multiverse, as well as the arch-nemesis of Finn the Human. The Mayan calendar is here because of the end of the world theories and such. Because of the Mayan calendar had an abrupt stop around December 21st, which made people panic and think the world was gonna end. The Punisher is a character from Marvel Comics. The character tracks down criminals and kills them in very gruesome ways. Also, he crossed over with Archie and Eminem, so that's cool. The news is here because the news covers stuff like terrorism, death, murder, etc., which can obviously be frightening to a lot of kids. Volcano sauce is this scene in SpongeBob.
By the powers of naughtiness, I command this particular drop of hot sauce to be really, really hot.
Yeah, it scared many kids because of the superimposed face. We're like brothers, but only closer. There's a scene in the SpongeBob episode, Can You Spare a Dime?, in which SpongeBob says the phrase while pulling down Squidward's shirt, where it's revealed that they share a large singular heart, which is beating. To cap off Tier 2 in Part 1, we have the Wicked Witch of the West from Wizard of Oz. She has some creepy moments such as the flying monkeys, but the scene most people remember is when she melts after touching water. That does it for Part 1. I would love it if you liked and subscribed, but that's not needed. Check all the links in the description, and bye-bye. Have a good day.